G'day and welcome to Dig for Treasure Australia. In this video I will be showing you how I make this sand scoop with PVC pipe. There is no metal screws or rivets used, only glue and some zippy ties. Okay, so for this project I'm using all these tools you see on the bench. You don't have to use all these tools, there's always ways around in making things. But I got a 100mm pipe, a 20mm pipe, vernier caliper to measure things, just a normal steel rule and a hole saw. This is a really good hole saw for drilling very thin material. It's for sheet steel, but I like using it on other things like plastic as well. I got a, I think it's a 10mm drill, it might be a bit bigger. I'll give you the measurements a little bit later on. The end cap, some glue, pencil to mark things out. I love using this tool. It's a reamer, reaming out holes and taking off burr from the holes that you're drilling. I've got some zippy ties to hold a few things in place, just a blade from a hacksaw, a file, just a flat file, and a drill. And I'm also going to be using a bandsaw because I'm lazy to cut the PVC pipe. So I'm just going to use the bandsaw to clean up one of the ends so I can start marking a few things out. I'm going to use this cap to give me an indication on where not to drill holes. Okay, so as you can see I've got my mark where the cap will be going to, and about 200mm from the top, from the bottom I should say, to where my 45-degree cut will start. I've got a little mark there. Now I'll set the machine up. And there you go, 45 degrees. The end cap will go in like that, and the handle will be cut out in this section here. Okay, so I'm just going to clean up that first cut that I did with my reamer. Just get rid of all that burr so that sits nicely on the tables for when I go to mark things out. Alright, so I'm going to start the marking out, just finding the center point here. Do the same on the back, just roughly, give you somewhere to work from, just like that, and then I'll be able to work out where I want my holes and my handle to go. Okay, so here's those marks. I'm going to work out now where my handle's going to go and where I'm going to position all the holes in the bottom for the sand scoop. Okay, so I've got all my holes marked out at the bottom over here for my 10mm drill bit. I made them 10mm. I'll show you, this is an Australian 5-cent coin, and it is 19.5mm outside diameter, so it will not fall through the sand scoop. Also wanted to point out, for drilling into the PVC, I've actually gone and destroyed this 10mm piece by grinding, I don't know if you can see that or not, grinding it down so it's a flat cut, and a little guide right on the tip. We'll start drilling in a minute. So I just wanted to show you quickly, I did the measurements for the top as well. I'm going to leave this section for the handle, and I'm going to cut out these sections here using the hole saw, and that's so I can grasp the top of the sand scoop. There you go, so that will be the handle. And then these are all the holes that I'm going to drill for the sand to fall out. Look at that, right at the very end. Okay, so there you go. That's all my holes drilled. It's time for the cleanup. You can have a look at that. Look, third last hole, and she blew out. Oh my goodness. But anyways, I'm not a machine. And this is handmade, so it's never going to be perfect. Alright, so now I'm just going to start. I'm going to use my reamer. I'm going to clean up the holes. Very simple and quick. Alright, as you can see, the holes come up really nicely after having a reaming. We'll get to doing the handle. Okay, so I'm going to clean up these little holes for the hands, for your hands to go in, with a hacksaw blade. Then we'll come back with a file, smooth things out. Now I'll just use the reamer to finish it off. There you go, fits great. Alright, now it's time to mark out the base and put some holes in that. Okay, so here's my grid pattern that I'm going to drill out. So that's it's all drilled out. Now I'm going to clean up the holes with the reamer. Ready for gluing. So the gluing process was pretty straightforward. I've got these lines that I extended past the bottom and onto the side, and I'm going to use those lines to meet up with my center line that I drew at the very beginning, so that when everything goes together it all nicely will line up, all the holes will line up with those first initial lines. Yeah. Okay, so what I want to do now is just give this handle a little bit more meat. That's why I got this 20 or 25 mil bit of PVC pipe, which I'm going to attach to there with a little bit of glue and some ZB ties. I'm first going to have to cut it, obviously, and we'll go from there. I'm just going to cut down the center of this pipe to split it into two. Just going to put a little notch in here where my mark is. Give that a clean up. Okay, so there you have it. There's that little notch I cut out in the PVC pipe. It's going to sit over the top of that bottom section, and I'll zippy tie it around and make some holes up here, and she'll be finished. I'm just going to use some zippy ties to hold everything in place while it's drying, and the zippy ties will actually stay in there and help hold things together.